morning, and welcome to the Morning DNA for May 31st, 2021. My name is Aaron Dicer, the man of the single black shirt. She is Danae Hughes, the woman of a million distractions, and we're here to find out what this day is made of. That's the Morning DNA. I was doing some good morning stretches. Now that I've got a little motion in my good morning, like I have to make sure I don't pull anything.
Yeah.
So
I just did a nice full circle thing, and I'm in pain already. So
see, you got to stretch. You got to stretch before the morning show.
Yeah. So us old people, happy Memorial Day. Although it's strange to say happy, it's a strange thing.
Well,
but it can be happy to celebrate things we think about, people that we honor.
It is one of those interesting things, as are many of our holidays where we take 3-day weekends, that kind of stuff, and the stuff we're celebrating is more somber to think about. Even when you think of something like Labor Day that is about like the workforce and like overworked people and like if you really get into a lot of our holidays and where they come from, there's some pain there. And this one is no different with people who have given their lives in war, in the military. And so, but then there's also this side of it that is a celebration of the freedom we have, a celebration of good food and family. And so I think it's okay. I think those two things can live together. I really do. I think they can.
I think things evolve over time, and we're certainly in the evolution of this date. I feel like in the past it may have been a bit different, but driving home this morning after going and getting my coffee, I saw several families that were all packing up whatever vehicles to go on whatever outdoor adventures today. And we get to celebrate those times together because of people who sacrificed. So, it's kind of a way to honor them. And I hope that they stop and think about it, but it's not up to me.
Whatever the case, happy Memorial Day. And thank you for joining us. I know some people have mentioned it in the chat. I'm looking at this new thing that I didn't know existed where I can see where everybody is watching from. Usually I would just look up and see the total number of people that are hanging out with us and watching, which is always fun and always blows my mind that anybody's, wanting to hang out with us on Monday mornings.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now it's fun to kind of look and see, okay. Danae's Twitch is hopping. Our YouTube channel is hopping. Those are the two primary places that people watch from.
Oh my God, you guys are watching me on Twitch. So I am finally in the final stages of getting my computer set up to be able to stream some video games soon on my Twitch. So I'm very excited about that.
That is fun. That is fun. I love the way you've embraced the Twitch community. It really feels like that's something, if you're going to go into the Twitch thing, that's how you grow your channel, is to really embrace the community idea of it and that kind of stuff. Whereas other platforms, it's like a platform and it just broadcasts here. Whereas Twitch, it's nope, this is community first, hang out, chat, all that kind of fun stuff. So I love it.
I miss going on Twitch a lot. Since I've been busier the last few weeks, I've barely been able to hang out. But yeah, the people there is why you go back. Although for me, for example, I think it's easier. So we're going to go on a little Twitch side thing here. I think it makes sense. There's people who, stream their art, they're drawing or they're creating or they stream their craft making, and they're going to be doing that for the whole day anyway. So might as well turn a camera on. Whereas for myself, it's I have to think of something to do.
Right.
And that's a little different, except for this is something we would do if there was a live audience or not. So this makes sense.
True. This gives us an excuse to hang out, talk about our weekend, connect on a non-work level and just kind of talk about what's going on in the world. We love that you join us. We love that you join us for this. And thank you wherever you're watching for hanging out with us. But
especially my Twitch. So thank you.
Especially listen.
I'm kidding, YouTubers. You guys are great.
No. So there's so it looks like there's 8 people watching on YouTube right now and 5 people watching on your Twitch. And I will say one person watching on my Twitch right now. So thank you.
Ooh.
Thank you for
no. See, the way Twitch works is that now they're going to leave mine and go to yours. That's how Twitch works.
Yeah, raid my Twitch, right? And Danae's saying it. Raid my Twitch right now.
I guess there's something that's going on in the Twitch community where, according to terms of service, if you're in water, or I'm going to get this so wrong, and chat's going to fix it. But essentially, there are people who hang out in a category called chat. Like it's like a talk show style category, but they're very scantily clad and they're in like pools, like little blow up pools and stuff.
Yeah, like in the rules, there's an exception for if you're in water that you can wear like skimpier
bikinis.
Outfits or something. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So of course there's, people who are taking advantage of that. Well, I guess my mom told me this yesterday because my mom is a Twitcher. I was over at her house and she was like, look at this. And on her screen are otters. And I guess they just developed this new category on Twitch that's something like beaches and water or something.
Right.
And so there's this marine rescue place, I think in California, that was like, okay. And so they put up this otter cam. It's 24/7 otter cam. And it's kind of like the big joke of Twitch that it's getting a whole bunch of subs and attention instead of people who would like to have attention for wearing scanty little Edie, what is it? Teeny weeny
yellow polka dot bikini. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That she wore for the very first time. That's why she was so nervous. She didn't want to go in the water. She was afraid to go out in the water. That's how that song goes. In case you didn't know any more.
Does it? See, I didn't know that. Get it.
So
anyhow, there's this adorable otter channel. I should find it so I can read into it today. Okay, you do the show. I'm gonna do that.
You should. I do want us to know. Want you to know. As soon as I said there were 5 people on your Twitch, it jumped up to 9. So there are actually 9 people on your
good morning, my friends. Good morning.
And that's all the show is going to be today. Just recounting who's watching where. No, it's not. You want to show a dough?
Yeah, let's show a dough.
All right, let's show a dough. We are going to do D and A and U. We'll have a D topic and any topic, and as many U topics as you have time for, or as we have time for. So be preparing those in your mind. If you put them in now, there's a slight chance we won't be able to scroll back to them. But whenever you do put them in, make sure you put a letter U at the beginning so we can identify those quickly. And we will do that as our U topic. But Danae, you get to kick us off. What is your D topic today?
Okay, here we go. Hello. I can't stop tweaking my space. I don't know what my question.
You're still on MySpace?
I don't know what question I have for you about that because the show is starting and I didn't give myself enough time. But do you tweak? No. That's not right. This was in my. I literally sat here for like 10 minutes going, what is. I've had so many different things happening in my life over the past few days, not to mention that we missed last week and there's a whole bunch of stuff I could talk about there. And I'm just like, what do I do? But the consistent thing that has been happening in my house is I am going in and tweaking things. I'm like, so in my closet, I rearranged my closet. In here, in this room, I've rearranged my space. I don't know if I like it yet, but we're working with it today. We'll see.
Well, one thing you rearranged that comes in handy right now. Could you bring your volume down just a tad?
How about that? Is that better?
That is better.
See? My board is just right here now. So, but I can't. There's certain areas of the house I just can't stop thinking about improvements. I can't stop thinking about ways that potentially I could, organize a little bit better.
Yes, I'm with you.
Like even the kitchen drawers. Like, ooh, does this still belong here? Blah blah blah. And I can't stop. Then there's other things I'm like, okay, this is good. Don't touch it. For example, I don't want to touch this anymore.
Beautiful.
Podcast listeners, I am referencing the wall behind me, which is bookshelves and like all my decorations and such that I spent weeks assembling. I don't want to touch that. I think it looks fine. It's serving a purpose. I just want to leave that alone. But then there's this functionality part of me that just I can't stop. And I was just wondering if I am alone in that or if you guys are in that space. Okay. Just one more thing real quick. And then I'm going to go to the comments and I want to see what you guys have to say. But I'll watch shows and I'll think that there are people, maybe like minimalists, where they just know where everything goes and it just goes there. And that's where it is. It just stays there. And you know what? That doesn't even need to be replaced ever because it is what it is, It doesn't need to scoot. It belongs there.
You just made a distinction that blew my mind because I thought we were on the same page here. And now I'm pretty sure we're not because you made a distinction between always tweaking things and always being aware of something that could go better somewhere else and then leaving it there forever.
Forever.
That's what I do. I'm a forever person. Once I know where something goes and it works there, it's there forever. But if you're talking about I always need to be tweaking something,
I think I do. I think I do.
Different. Yeah.
There's this thing in me that's always thinking, could it be better or elsewhere, or is this actually where? And, working with a personal organizer for the last year has been really helpful because I almost kind of like get permission to put something somewhere or move it in a way. I get in my head a lot and I can't make final decisions. I kind of spiral out. And anyway, I was just, as I'm tweaking things and as I'm looking around, my goal is I want to know where it goes, and that's where it goes, and it makes the most sense, and I don't have to touch it again. And now that we're in this house for a little over a year now, there are some things that I feel pretty accomplished. Like I've done it. I've got it where it goes.
Yeah, this is where the refrigerator goes. Like I got that one down.
The stove, check.
The stove, check.
This massive marble countertop, never moving.
Not moving this one. Not moving it.
Yeah.
Before we get into the comments, thank you, Jets Mets, who says I'm watching Aaron on his Twitch now. Appreciate that. There are now 2 people on my Twitch, so you and Caleb hanging out on my Twitch. I love it. Dave says rearranging is the best. I agree. And then continues by saying logistics FTW. Love that mindset. Yeah. So logistics legit. I am a logistics manager. That's kind of what I do. Is like I manage the flow of content, and it's all about efficiency. And then at the house, it's a similar kind of thing. Like we need to find a place to put the mail because I don't want to find it in 4 places anymore. I want it to. But what is the best place? And do we talk about that, or do I just make a decision? And what if I decide that it's the wrong decision later? Is that okay, or am I doing it wrong at the beginning? Anyway, figure it out at the beginning and leave it there forever.
Just right in the refrigerator is where the mail goes.
That's right. Yes. In the freezer, right in one of those freezer shelves. That's where you put the mail. Lolly says, I rearranged our kitchen cupboards almost 2 years ago, and Hub still goes to the wrong cupboard for the coffee cups. Kitchen cupboards is a good one. We did make a switch in our kitchen cupboards after deciding where everything went because the middle shelves were starting to bend and droop from the weight of the coffee cups. And so we had to shift them to like a lower shelf, a bottom shelf. Oh boy. So also we probably should get rid of all of our coffee cups except maybe 1 or 2. But for some reason, coffee mugs are the hardest thing to get rid of for people.
They're so nostalgia based for me.
Fingers here, but I don't drink coffee, so
But you do drink water out of coffee mugs all the time.
No, I don't. Unless this is a coffee mug, I do not.
Yeah, yeah, it is. This question's so loaded, and this is one of the reasons why I really couldn't figure out what is the central. What's the central thing that I wanted to kind of bring to the table? Because it also goes into things like getting rid of things and saying goodbye to systems that don't work or things that don't serve you anymore, like the coffee cup thing. I went through a massive coffee cup purge, and I still have 20 coffee mugs that I'm like, no, I like this one. I don't know. Maybe I should try that picture thing where you take a photo of it and then you print it. And then you put it up on a display somewhere. And then I just have this little photo collage of mugs that I literally never use because I have decided to challenge myself and only use the mugs in one display. And you guys see them almost every Monday. I have that specific mug. There's a set of 6 of them. They sit on my counter. And that's my challenge to myself was just use these. See how long you go without touching any other mugs. It's been 2 years. I never use any other mugs but those. And
that's good.
I don't know. But you know what? They're not taking up they're not taking up cupboard space yet. There's nothing that needs to go where they are right now. So it's kind of like, well, I've got room for it. So I guess I can just have it.
It's interesting. Our dynamic in our marriage is that I will think of good arrangements for stuff and then my wife will do it. Like that's just kind of been our thing. To me, that seems like I have the better end of the deal here. Like, she does all the work. I do all the thinking. But she enjoys that stuff. Like, when we were thinking about how our theater room should be arranged, like, she built a platform for a couch so that we could have tiered seating. In fact, now we're thinking about, can we add a third row? Is there room here for a third row? So like, there is that kind of thing. But I love my theater space. Like, it's
pretty cool.
It's a lot of fun for me to think about what's the best way to use this room and then to, to be able to do it. Polly says, I have a theory about tweaking a space and it being related to pregnant women in the nesting phase. I think it never ends. It just goes through phases.
That's an interesting theory. I was like this before Iris. I don't think I've changed too much. No. Yeah. No, you're onto something.
That's amazing.
Hold on. I just discovered something about myself as I was thinking about this, Polly. There is something about how many decisions that you have to make when you become a parent. And to know where things are eliminates so much just noise. And I don't want to have to think about where the socks are because I'm already thinking about 17 other things. So if we just know where the socks are, then that's, so maybe there is something to that for efficiency, so that it's not just nesting. It's like, it's not creating something forever. It's just, let's create a system that works, because if we don't communicate, it's all gonna like domino effect, other things. So you might be onto something there, because I am more purposeful in keeping things organized than I was previous. That's true. Yeah. Very, very true.
Yeah,
and onto something. And that's true for guys too. Like my husband's done this as well. So it's not just a lady thing.
And I think as you get older, you become even more aware of your environment and how, at least that's what I've experienced. Like you develop things you like more and more the older you get. That's why the stereotype of as you age is you get more set in your ways, you get more, this is how I like the world and I'm not afraid to say it boldly now. Like, there's a lot of that happens. And I think, that's related to it too. But sometimes it's just the season of the room. Like I remember having to go through a whole thought process of what is this studio room look like now that it's just me who records in here, and it completely changed this room. So yeah, I think that kind of stuff just happens.
Well, yeah, they sure do.
Says,
but when is it too much, people? When should you just stop and be like, it's fine, don't touch it anymore? That's the part too.
Right? It's the obsession part of it that becomes too much. Like anything, it's when it dominates your world in a way that takes away from other priorities. That really is the only issue. If you want to change things up and you have the time to change things up, in the energy, change things up. Like there's,
See, I mean, I could kind of justify away it being a priority for me though, even if it's not. Like yesterday I came in here to work and I reorganized everything because I was like, I need to find a better way to make things work. And now I can tell you confidently, it's still not where it needs to be. Doing this show right now, I need to tweak it some more.
A little bit
and
more,
then I'm like, but I have work to do. So you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to make myself be like, no, work with it. Then fix it when you have time. Then I'm like, when am I going to have time? I got to make time. So
I'm just going to tell you,
I don't know.
It's never going to work for you until you buy yourself a nice big ultra wide monitor, and then it's all going to lock into place.
Is that right?
That's what does it.
Okay.
JCD says, we move furniture at my parents' house all the time. Like my bedroom has rotated at least twice. My mom has also gotten stuff in the kitchen to allegedly store pots and pans better over time. I love that allegedly.
I want to throw up this Nick one about
go for it.
Pro tip. Nick has a pro tip. Never get mugs with kids' pictures on them. You'll never use them for fear of wearing them out, and you can't get rid of them either.
Very nice.
Oh, no. See, I fully expect that I'm going to have the kid picture mug for Mother's Day at any point in time.
Yeah.
I should make a rule about it, right? Don't ever get me mugs. I should just it'll be a weird thing. The family won't understand, but maybe that's a wise thing for me.
We've got some memory mugs from different places, like missions trips we went to. They're all in the same place on display. You know what I mean? They're not in a cupboard. That's
mine are on display, but they're in the cupboard that has a window.
Oh,
so it's kind of like a cupboard display.
Never get cupboards with windows. That's the problem.
They came with the house. What am I supposed to do? Not get the house? I'm sorry. I can't get this. This is a dream house for us, but you know what? It has windows in the cupboards.
Those doors come off. You can put new doors on there.
No.
You like rearranging stuff. Maybe that's the next thing.
No.
You rearrange.
I have 2 corner cupboards that have windows, and both of them have display things in them.
I'm just now getting to people being like, how heavy are those cups? How many do you have? That's a lot of mugs, bro. Listen, there's probably it's a whole shelf of them. So I'm gonna guess 3 by 8. So maybe 24 mugs in there. And yeah, just over time, the weight of them has kind of bent the wood a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah. It's probably particle boardish as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think part of it is the cupboard itself,
it's not like oak
shelf
or something.
Yeah, the shelf isn't all that strong. So
yeah.
I
love too that Caleb says I still use my shoot the dough mug. Yes.
Nice!
Okay, that's one of the mugs.
Right there. Okay, right there.
Okay, there's a shoot the dough mug. We only made 10 of them, so that is congratulations.
There's one left.
I might have.
Should we do a giveaway for the final shoe the dough mug, or we're gonna sell it?
No, it's
auction it.
Auction it for $500. We're good to go. We'll get a new couple cameras. We I think I have one here. I might have 2 here. I'm not sure. So I have a mug. I got a mug, obviously, and that's one of the things I kept. I can't. Where's? Oh my gosh. Breaking news, podcast listeners. Aaron has, for the first time, just up and left. Oh, but he's already back. That was not nearly as exciting as I thought it was going to be. I thought that was going to be far more interesting. Like you were leaving.
No. I just realized that the final shoe the dough mug, never been opened, was sitting here within reach. In this cube is the final shoe the dough mug.
But I think I have one too. So we might have 2 or 3 left. Maybe. Anyway.
Well, you better find out. You better find out
okay.
Because we need to know. We need to know what we've got going on here before we make any promises. So yeah, that's really interesting. Caleb, that has it held up? Has the shoe the dough mug held up? How do we do on the quality there if you use it all the time? I'd be curious because mine just sits on the shelf back here. So yeah, I think there's only 10 or 20 of those in existence. Lolly says that mug must be worth millions. Probably not. There's no way there's a mug in that box.
I think you're right. I think that's the last one.
Yes. The final shoe the dough mug.
But I did find remember when we used to do live shows?
We still do.
We're doing one what now. I have all of our
live in-person shows.
Live in-person shows. Yeah. Look, yeah. I found our buttons.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So we have
day.
Yep. And I found the shoes that we gave out at our live show.
Nice. Yeah. And then
shoe the dough.
Then we did a DNA keychain for our second live show.
I think those are in here. I'm gonna look and see.
I think so.
Okay, I'll show you guys in chat. So we used to do really fun stuff. In fact, Caleb, that's in the chat right now, drove in from Nashville to those shows. Mm-hmm. Here's our Helix keychain that we gave out.
Yep. Yeah, we used to do an annual live show at a local coffee place that had a stage and whatnot, and we'd do a live podcast with an audience. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's when I announced what kind of a baby I was having. If it was a boy baby, or a girl baby.
Right.
We did it on a live show.
We had our local news reporter friends do a newscast, a fake newscast about you being pregnant. Yeah.
We didn't tell my mom and dad, so they had no idea what was happening. It was just this and this whole video thing came up on screen, and it was breaking news, and it was Sarah Forhetz and Ethan Forhetz. And what was funny is they recorded some of the video for it while they were actually on site out in Springfield doing real news stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and these are 2 of the top news reporters in our area.
Yeah.
And Sarah had to tell the person, she's like, okay, just go with me on this. I'm doing this for a friend. In the background are cop cars at a live scene somewhere. Uh-huh. And she's like, Danae Hughes is having a baby and it's and then we put this picture up of of her ultrasound picture. It was pretty fun. Yeah, we had fun. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I was gone for a second, and our buddy Galactic Dave said, Danae, you can't say that about Aaron while he's gone. What did you say, Danae? What happened while I was gone?
Notice it's in all caps too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're doing. I'm not gonna respond to that.
Okay.
But I am gonna send you a message right now, sir.
Well, that's fun. Rearranging your room turned into a little bit of our own kind of memorial.
And I knew where it could have been, should have been, had I had the mugs, because I am somewhat organized.
So I guess
so you do have the final mug.
The question remains: what do we do with the final Shoe the Dough mug?
I really thought I had more.
We're taking ideas.
I really feel like I have more.
Okay, well, you can keep looking around.
Right now,
what we can do is we can do a big thing for the final mug and make a bunch of money or something, and then you can find more conveniently.
Right?
Let's see. Ah, look at there. Look at there. There they are. We have 3 left.
No, we've got more, Bear.
Oh, wow. Danae Hughes, you've been hoarding mugs. Look at you.
Okay, I'll clean up the mess later. I knew I had them somewhere, guys.
So there are only 5 out in the real world right now, right?
Yes.
So if you have one, Caleb's got one. There's one behind me. That's a pretty rare item right now. So yeah.
Okay, Galactic Dave continues to troll chat by saying, "I bet none of them are actually mugs."
They're just the. Oh, looky there. That one's not quite worth as much anymore because it's been opened. But
oh, shush, shush.
But maybe it's worth more because it's got your fingerprints on it. Who knows?
I kissed it.
Look at that! It's been kissed. It's amazing.
It has my DNA on it, so now it's even more trashy.
The studio DNA. Cool. Yeah. Well, we've got 5 mugs we could do something fun with at some point if people were interested in that. Maybe after the D&D thing, we can think about
selling the mugs.
Yeah, something. We'll figure it out. All right. I think we're ready to go on to the next topic.
I like how JetsMet says, well, they're at $15 now.
That's right. That's right. I don't even remember what we sold them for to begin with.
I think they were 10.
Yeah, I think we sold them for $10. Yep.
Maybe,
and now they're worth, more
15.
than Bitcoin. Yeah.
According to chat, they're worth 15 now.
Yep. All right, we'll move on to the A topic. This comes from a show that I finished up this weekend. And here's the topic. What's a TV show you watched every episode of that you aren't sure you even liked? But you kept watching anyway. In my case, I'm talking about the Mighty Ducks Game Changers. I watched the season finale this weekend, watched all 10 episodes. I don't even know if I like this show. The nostalgia pulls me in a little bit. I'm not sure it's even really that good. It's very tropey, very cliche. It's down the line, Disneyfied, and I couldn't stop watching it, and I don't understand that about myself sometimes. So I got curious a little bit if anybody else ever experiences something like that, where it's like, I don't know why I keep watching this, but I'm just still watching it. Now, it can be a show that's finished. It can be a show that you're in the midst of. Maybe this is in some ways a little bit of an intervention, and maybe you can stop a show. Maybe it'll bring awareness to a show. You're like, I don't really need to be spending time watching this. So some good choices popping up. Let's see. Lolly says Friends. See, I liked Friends.
Yeah.
I liked Friends, but
I didn't watch all of them though.
Yeah. But that's a good choice. Game of Thrones. I liked Game of Thrones, but that last season, maybe that last season was like, well, I got to finish it up, that kind of thing. So, Jetsmets with a good choice. Jersey Shore. Reality television probably does fall into this category quite a bit. Chris says, are we counting shows that we once liked that we now hate? We can. I'm talking specifically more about a show. I don't even think I liked it at the beginning, because this to me is the Stranger Thing. The Stranger Thing, not talking Stranger Things, but the Stranger Thing is to watch the first episode of a show and go, and then keep watching it until the very end of the season. And that's the experience I had. I was the whole time I'm just like, all right. But I watched the whole thing. What is wrong with me?
Lucas says Schitt's Creek.
No, come on, Lucas.
No, not everybody likes that show. It's okay. It's okay. It's just we don't relate to that. But that's okay. But it's okay. It's fine. You watched it all? You didn't like it? Are you sure? It's okay. It's okay.
No, but that is interesting that would be the example for someone, because it is one of those things where maybe this happens when you feel like, what am I missing? Why does everybody love this thing and I don't? And so you keep watching. I'm not saying this is what Lucas was doing, but sometimes maybe the motivation is, I'm going to keep watching this because everybody else seems to think it's great and maybe it will click with me eventually. And then it just never does. So I can see kind of that happening. Ace
Mighty Ducks. We both clicked it at the same time.
It's amazing. I feel the same way about the Mighty Ducks. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Ronald says, for me, it was Love is Hard for Otaku.
Otaku?
Sorry. I love romance anime, but when I think of it all, I come up for it. It was kind of boring. Yeah. But you watch the whole thing hoping it's going to get better. Caleb says Gotham.
Yeah, that's a great one. I did the same thing with Gotham, but I did eventually give up on it.
I gave up on it after season 1 easy. I'm like, this isn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah. I think I watched a couple episodes of season 2 and I was like, no, I don't have time for this.
Elizabeth says Grey's Anatomy. I still watch, but the last few seasons have gone downhill. So this is the one that I think I would land on. But for me, I was watching Grey's Anatomy with a friend of mine after it had been on for a long time. And then I thought, what am I missing? Because they obviously all have previous existing storylines. So I went back to the first one and watched all of it to get caught up. It was a lot. I didn't have a lot to do at the time though, so it was fine.
Yeah.
But I remember the whole time being like, is it going, are we getting better? And sometimes it was okay, but it's never been great. It's just something I've watched. I think that's the closest I'm going to come. So I agree with Elizabeth on this one.
Nice. Let's see. True Detective. JCD says season 1 of True Detective. It's a great show, but I'm not sure I actually like it. Okay. There is another thing that we do, which is I'm watching this even though I don't like it because there's something about it I know is technically great. I can relate to that, where it's like, I know this is so well done, so I'm going to keep watching it, even though I'm not really enjoying myself. So yeah, I can see that. Nick says Smallville, liked it at first, but lost interest around season 5 or 6. Well, that's a decent investment already if you've gone 5 or 6 seasons. So to watch all 10 season at that point, I think I'm a completionist like that. If I've watched 5 or 6 seasons of something, you know what? This is not true in everything because I did give up on The Walking Dead, but that's a completely different story. But yeah, to watch all 10 seasons makes sense to me. I like this one as well. Jose says Iron Fist. It's the completionist in me. Me too. That's the only reason I watched that show is because I wanted to understand all of the Marvel TV universe, the Netflix Marvel universe, before they did the Team Up series. And that's the only reason I kept watching that show, because I did not really enjoy it very much. Let's see. Slab says, my dad loves NCIS and BBT and was forced to watch every episode. She hated them from the start, though. So, yeah. NCIS.
Big Bang Theory.
Oh, is that what BBT is?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Handmaid's Tale is amazing and so well made, but I'm not having fun anymore. I'm just too obsessed to quit. When were you having fun with that show? I watched the first season of Handmaid's Tale, maybe a little bit of the maybe I watched the first 2 seasons of Handmaid's Tale. As another one I gave up on because I have come to a point with my TV watching where it's just like I don't need the deep
serious
trauma
stuff. Yeah.
like stuff from my TV. I get enough of that from movies, and I do enjoy the idea of digging into some of the deeper aspects of what it means to be human, some of the deeper aspects of what it means to live in this world. But I want to do it in a nice 1.5 to 2.5 hour chunk with a movie, and just live in it for that movie, experience the emotions I want to experience, and then move on. Whereas on a TV show, to come back to it
Over
every
and over.
week, and just be like, oh, hit me again. Oh, more
It would be
pain.
like if Hunger Games were on TV, where if you really sit in it for a long time, it's a terrible world to live in. Like, what a horrible place to have to survive. Yeah. Where children are being sent, to murder each other for, like just that world is not, it's very serious. And, and if you went back to it every single week to see how it concludes, because it's based on a book material. And so, there's supposed to be an ending at some point. This is going to end, right? But then they just keep finding new ways to sort of expand into it. I don't know that I wouldn't have enjoyed consuming that one on an episodic thing.
JetSmith says, I watched CSI Miami and liked it until I saw them solve a murder in one day. Haven't watched it since. I like CSI Miami because I feel like it was the CSI that fully embraced the ridiculousness of it. And so I did enjoy that a little bit. But the CSI thing is another thing I eventually gave up on, meaning like that whole genre of TV, because there was so much of it. And I just realized I'm seeing the same story over and over and over again with just different, professions, vocations, and characters. Like, it's the same thing over and over. And so procedural television, I'm just totally out now. Just totally out. Will I watch the CSI reboot with William Peterson and the original cast and all that?
Of course you will.
Of course I will. Of course, 100% I will. We'll see if you can pull me back in. Thought I was out, but they pulled me back in. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Mikey says, isn't the 100 basically a weekly Hunger Games? He asked, having only seen 3 episodes. I've only seen 1 episode, and so I don't know how to answer that question, but it seems like it might be. Definitely seems like it might be.
The 100. I don't think I've seen that one.
The 100 is basically the premise of the 100. We send the pilot on TV Sins is basically the adults send the teenagers back to Earth after it's been quote unquote uninhabitable for a period of time to see if it's able to be lived on. And so basically there's a Lord of the Flies element to it where these teenagers have to figure out their own society and all that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Aids also says, I gave up on Glee when they started down the storyline of tricking Supergirl's character in eating disorder and somehow redeem the character that did it. I don't remember that specific plot line. I will say I loved Glee. I loved that show so much. I don't know if I'm supposed to be proud of that or anything, but
I don't know how anyone else is gonna feel about it. But...
Yeah, I don't know if I just went down respect level in everybody's eyes, but no, I had so much fun with Glee because to me it seemed very satirical. It seemed like a satirical look at high school and the idea of show choir and those kind of things. And the music was awesome, was just so good. So that's, I'm a musical kind of guy. Listen, I've got some Glee in my life with Zoe right now with Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, which does a lot of, the same kind of stuff, but has a different conceit to do it in. And also has a former cast member of Glee on it. So, it's good times for me, but maybe not other people.
I never watched Glee, not even one episode. I missed the whole Glee thing.
I'm telling you,
but about going back to high school, I just don't want it.
Right. No, totally.
I don't enjoy that.
I totally get it. Well, there you go.
Wow. Ta-da! Show's over. Bye, guys.
What about the you questions, Danae?
Well, what about those? I've just been making sure that I know where I'm going to send the raiders from my Twitch channel.
And it's to my Twitch channel, right?
No, it won't be. But there's one called Chicks Gone Wild. And it's just a whole bunch of ducks.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. So I'm really enjoying this. But we're gonna raid into the otters today for sure.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's a ton of fun. All right. Well, let's do the you questions. If you've got something that you want to talk about with us, let us know. And it could be a question, it could be a topic, it could be anything. And
Anything. It could be about questions about how my room was actually somewhat put together when we started and now it's trash in the back. Did you see? Like so many things have fallen and there's just mail everywhere and chairs.
Yeah, now we've got the mugs over here. There's a chair in the middle of the room with a blanket on top of it. Yeah, you have rearranged your space while we've been talking.
Yeah.
There was a you question earlier.
Oh, okay.
That that said, you question, will you be able to scroll up to this question? And the answer is no. The answer apparently is no. I couldn't find it.
You question, how was Nashville?
Yeah.
It was interesting because this is the first time to go anywhere since pandemic. It was the first time for me to see a group of people. And there was a certain element of nerves about it, but then it was also just kind of like just slipping back into something really comfortable. So I got to see people we work with and go out to eat a couple times. And it's also just interesting to always get your space. Before the break aside, like not being able to travel aside, it's always interesting to be able to go to someplace new or even just somewhat familiar like Nashville, and just get completely out of your little pool and into, in this case, a larger pool. And it used to stress me out so much more. I mean, when I first started traveling with Aaron for radio, I was a stress ball every single time we went somewhere. I hated it. I hated packing, the stress of leaving, the stress of driving and getting somewhere. And then over the years, I've gotten better at identifying like, well, what are my triggers? And so for me, I need to get to where I'm going and put my things somewhere, and then I can kind of relax a little bit. It's for whatever reason, until I can get there and put my stuff down, I'm not able to just kind of like take a breath. So, and then I've also noticed for me, like in city driving, the larger driving, I'm not stressed when cars are going by on 6 lanes or whatever. That doesn't stress me out. It's not the turn that's coming up, but the turn right after. I want to know when I turn right, is my next turn left? Because that will help me to understand where I'm going in this big universe. And so and Google doesn't always do that very well. So I'm also the kind of person that needs to have my passenger talking to me. So over the years, we've gotten much better at traveling together. And this was the least stressful experience I had going to Nashville, which is surprising to me considering I was very nervous about like getting back out in public and stuff. So that was nice to feel. It was nice to feel like, oh, I'm actually relaxed. Oh, I'm actually doing okay. Oh, we're communicating really well in traffic. This is nice. You know, like all that stuff was very easy. And so it was nice to see friends, but it was also nice to experience like I wasn't a ball of stress, which was great.
So Danae answered that question from Elizabeth. I'm going to answer this one from Slab. How was Nashville? Well, you know, it's very different for me. I have loved to travel for a long time. And so for me, I was pumped. I was really excited to see everybody, to spend time together, to, you know, eat out together. Combine that with the fact that that light at the end of the tunnel is so big right now, as far as the pandemic is concerned, with the numbers just plummeting the way they are. I think 2 days ago, there were only 11,000 new cases in the entire country, which that's still 11,000 people that have cases, but it's compared to the hundreds of thousands of daily cases that it, you know, has been. It's been pretty incredible to see that number continue just to absolutely plummet as people get vaccines and all that kind of stuff. So combined with, oh my goodness, I think we're actually on the end of this thing with, oh my goodness, I'm getting to travel and see friends who I haven't seen in 16 months or 15 months or whatever it's been.
Yeah.
I was pumped, man. Like I was super excited, and it was everything I hoped it would be. Like it was really beautiful to be able to see those people and to have those times. And yeah, I had an absolutely wonderful time. And just to see the city, I just, you know, to go, I love visiting Nashville. It's one of my favorite cities. And just to, come around that bend
See the
on 24
skyline.
and see the Batman building and the rest of that beautiful skyline. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was awesome. Based on all that emotion he just threw out there, Lollipop's question is, who cried first at the Nashville reunion?
I
There
didn't wait
are
for the reunion. I saw
there
the
are
Batman
bets.
building.
Was it
And
Aaron? I bet it was Aaron.
tears.
I don't remember there being tears, but I know one person on the team, and I'm not going to tell who because I don't know if that matters, but one person on the team, when they got to the only time we all got together as a group was one time. And when that person arrived, you could almost just tell they were like, holy crap, we're all together. And there was just this burst of excitement. And I think there was some genuine emotion when they sat down at the table and were just kind of like looking around like, these are my friends. These are my people. I haven't seen them in a long time. And now we're going to get to have dinner together and talk. And the idea that we were going to get work done, I should have never had that expectation. They were just like kids getting back together.
I didn't think about work hardly one. I mean, there were little ticky tack things.
I'm like, work trip. We got stuff to do. Let's meet. Let's talk. Let's get some stuff done. Nope. We're just talking about movies the whole time. No, it's okay. It wasn't actually movies the whole time. And it was wonderful.
I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. We definitely had work conversations and that kind of stuff.
I'm definitely teasing you.
Yeah. Let's talk to Greg for a second. Says, what's the best thing to do in a hospital? I'm currently here right now due to severe stomach pain that I was experiencing yesterday and had through the weekend. Decided to come to the ER, and of course, they admitted me. Doing better today, but looking for some fun things that I can do while in a hospital room. Boy, that's a
app
good question.
Games. My instant is app games.
Yeah.
Grab your phone, and this is a time to explore. Because you've got time to test out material that you wouldn't normally have. I had a friend ask me for a few app game recommendations. The specificity was something that doesn't require a lot of my attention that I can play in the background while I'm on the couch unwinding. So I was like, oh, interesting. So this is something you have to engage in. Whereas you might be looking for something that's fully engaging because you have time on your hands and maybe you're wanting to distract yourself. So like if you want an adventure game or something like that, that's my go-to. Or you can ask for a book. Maybe somebody can run down to the guest shop and grab a book for you, and you can pick up a book for the first time, an audio book or something, like a recommendation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree with all that. Let's see. Tyler says, my family and I have had a rough last week. What's a movie, TV, or any entertainment content that brings you joy? Reality TV brings me joy. I love, competition shows, Top Chef, the singing competition shows. Survivor. If you've never watched Survivor, like binging some of the old, the first seasons of Survivor, I've heard is a great like rewatch experience. So yeah, I kind of go to reality television because it's light. There's not a lot I have to dig into with it, and it just puts a smile on my face. The Good Place always put a smile on my face. So yeah, Girls Five Eva is a new sitcom on Peacock. It's a lot of fun that I smiled all the way through. So yeah, some smiley recommendations.
I went to games you could play together that kind of are uniting and can bring laughter. It sounds like you guys are going through a lot. But I can't remember the name of the game. It's the one that's based online. We played it at Sin Week. It's a .tv. Do you remember what it is, Aaron?
What are you talking about?
Moko and chat, help me out because I know you guys have played it too. It's like where you answer random questions and like you vote. Jackbox.
Yeah.
Go to Jackbox as a family. That is oftentimes a fun way to get everybody like laughing. Although it depends on age groups and stuff. But we also just as a family, like our family, we will also just play video games together. So somebody's playing and the other people are cheering them on and there's laughter and kind of excitement. So I think about ways to sort of turn it into a bonding experience. Sorry, you guys are going through a lot. I hope everything is okay for you.
Yeah. JetSmith says, what area of the country do you like driving around? I'm driving to Phoenix from Las Vegas, and desert driving is so fun to look at while you drive. It is fun, but no, it really is beautiful. Some of the mesas and the different things you'll see in the desert are beautiful. However,
people tell me it's really boring though. Maybe I'm talking to the wrong people.
I mean, boring is like
is it Iowa. same?
Iowa is boring because it's same, and it's just fields of corn. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
This is desert, but then there's like cool like rock formations and cacti and all sorts of stuff. So
I'm gonna go to Google. And I'm gonna put my little person down on we're gonna look at the view.
So desert driving is fun. However, desert driving is also anxiety inducing as well, because it's one of those things where it's like, please don't fail me now, car, because it's 110 out right now. And so there's that thing. My favorite is mountain driving. Speaking of anxiety inducing, that's the stuff.
Well, that's the desert. For podcast listeners, I've just opened up Google Maps, and we are now taking the exact same drive so we can see what the view will be. I love doing this on Google Maps, actually. I don't know if you guys have ever, just decided to go someplace completely new to you through the Street View, but it is one of my great guilty pleasures is like traveling around the world while sitting on while sitting on my computer, because there's so many interesting places to go. Let's do it right now. We're gonna do it together, because my drives that I like, I've only really ever driven around Missouri. Let's just drop in on where am I gonna go? Let's go up here. What's over here?
Well, that is the mountains of Canada,
guys. This is Canada.
So this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like mountain driving to me, or driving near mountains, is so beautiful. That's quite a road there.
Excuse me, Google. I just dropped us on a footpath in the middle of some mountains. I didn't even know you could do this.
There you go. We're on a hike now. We are on a mountain hike.
Man, that's awesome. But this would be fun.
Gorgeous. Can you imagine being there? See, here's the thing. Like, doing this on Google is interesting and fun, and it is beautiful. There is nothing like being in that 3-dimensional space, though, because you get such a deeper perspective of how far things are away, what they really, look like dimensionally. Man, if you were standing right there right now, like, just the awe of the beauty around you, I think would be, tenfold what we're experiencing through the picture. So yeah, that is beautiful stuff. So mountain would be my answer.
Yeah, like you're all out here by yourself. Like, what happens if like a cougar comes by?
A very real possibility.
You're gonna be dead.
Probably more bears than cougars in northern Canada like that. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're alone. This is making me a little anxious, actually. Yeah, well, and this is why you go. Else. This is why you go to Google Maps, so that you can feel what it would feel like to travel to extremely remote areas. Okay, let's go over here.
We're going to Asia now, or all the way to Europe?
Where do you guys? Where should we go? You get to pick, Aaron.
Let's go to Norway.
Now you can zoom in, obviously.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, podcast listeners.
It's podcast listeners. We apologize. Everything has become very, very visual all of a sudden. But,
we are standing in front. We're standing in the woods right now, looking over a body of water and some rock formations and blue sky. And previous, we were standing kind of in like an open,
the bluest sky ever.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
If you can't travel for whatever reason, just do what I'm doing. How did this person get here? This guy is wearing a Google device on his backpack and is just walking to remote places.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Man, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Guys, this is how I want to travel.
No, I want to actually be there. I don't want like the pain of trying to get there, but like I would love to stand there. This is why we need to invent teleportation. We all need to experience these views in person.
Teleportation would be incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Basically, teleportation, if we invented it and did the technology right, you would be doing this exact same thing.
And then pushing a button and then saying,
and you'd
go.
be there. Yeah. Yeah. So
Slab says they want to see the rains down in Africa. So
the rains down in Africa.
Let's see.
Silly boy.
We'll go to Nigeria. There you go. Does not appear that there are rains, however.
There you go. Let's see. What else we got here? Oh, just jumped. Let's see. Nick says, I second Girls 5 Eva. Filled that 30 Rock Kimmy Schmidt hole in my life. Absolutely true. Then we've got... Nick says,
sorry. Jose asks, I'll be going to Nashville with some friends for the first time this week. Any suggestions?
Depends on what you're looking to do.
Yeah, what are you wanting to do? I would definitely recommend some restaurants, but we decided to go to some really expensive restaurants. So I don't know how much money you want to spend, but I had one of the best meals of my life was it the Optimist?
Optimist, yeah, in Germantown.
So
area.
Good.
Yep.
The Alaskan fish, it's delicious.
Yep, everybody loved their meal there, I think.
Yeah, nobody was disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as things to do, my God, there's tons of things to do. I would just say go in with a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So that, you know, if someone says, I really want to see live music, just make sure that you make that a priority and then go see it. But you can fill your time doing anything pretty much.
If it's your first time and you're vaccinated and you're feeling great, downtown Nashville is great. It is a great walk. It's a great hang. Know that you're going to be hearing live music from almost every bar
angle.
On the strip. It's going to be everywhere. Anywhere you walk into is going to have a live band, and not just a live band, an incredible live band. So, you know, there's just live music you can just walk into all the way down the strip. The barbecue there on downtown is amazing. So yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. There's a pedestrian bridge across the Cumberland there, where you should be able to see like the Titan Stadium, that kind of stuff. But it's a really cool pedestrian bridge where you can just walk across and look back at the city. Some great pictures that you can take from that. Nashville's a great town. It's a really great town to visit, and I have nothing but good experiences there. So yeah, those are some of my recommendations. Dexter says, what's the best way you have found to calm your mind? My insomnia is back with full vengeance, and I feel bad keeping my Harley up at night with me. Yeah, insomnia is not something I've ever dealt with. So I am probably the wrong person to ask this question. My mind in general is calm. In fact, some would say I need to find ways to excite my mind. Like, Aaron, get a little more excited. So yeah, Danae, what about you?
Oh man, I have a really active mind, so I can completely understand that, you know, it moving. Although I don't have insomnia, so I'm not sure how what I will say will help with insomnia. But calming my mind, it's an exercise. I do visual exercises. Usually they start with some kind of a story. Like I'll picture the people that are involved, and then I will very purposefully try to like create a scenario. So for those of us who play like, you know, very imaginative games, it's very similar to that. And I will watch this scene, and I usually fall asleep within about 5 minutes. Just sometimes I'll like make the people do things like, okay, they're going to go to the store, and they're going to go shopping at the grocery store, and they're going to get in a food fight in the whatever aisle. And I'll kind of like make them do stuff in my imagination. But at some point it shifts for me, and then I'm watching it, and within within a very short amount of time, I'm asleep. So that's something that I've kind of trained myself to do. But there are also interesting apps that I was looking at earlier this year that you watch, and they have like a visual that goes along with it, and they'll do like expansion and breathing techniques and stuff like that. So if you haven't tried to pair it with the app, Although turning your phone on while you're not able to sleep does not help, in my opinion. So, but maybe you can train yourself to think about those exercises in your own time, and that might help a little bit. Because I also will do some breathing techniques too if I really cannot go back to sleep. Because I'll wake up sometimes at 3:00 in the morning or 2:30 in the morning and be wide awake and ready to like do research and write, and I'm like awake. And so instead of beating myself up over it, I actually just am like, okay, I'll be productive. And I will try to take a nap if I can during the day, or just trust that I'll have enough energy and then go to bed tonight. So sometimes too, it's just not being down on myself about it and trying to be productive and not lay there being like, you should be asleep. You should be asleep. Lay there being like, okay, so what am I wanting to do right now? Oh, I want to write right now. So I'll grab my phone because I have a Note 9 and I'll just, I'll actually write a little bit.
That is wild. Everybody's different. So that's the other thing, is find out what works for you.
Yeah.
I have a rule. I won't pick up my phone between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So like, I know that's not an option for me because I know that will
it'll wake you up.
Yeah. Activate things. And so I put it into sleep mode. And if I wake up at 5:30, I lay there until 6. And sometimes I'll fall back asleep and wake up at 6:30 or whatever, but that's fine. So yeah, for me, my phone is a no touch zone for
Don't
8
touch
hours.
Also, we will have to do a shout out for Harley. We hope Harley is doing well. Dexter's dog is in remission right now. So yay, Harley. And also, maybe Harley loves being up with you. Sometimes we have those companions for a reason. So you never know.
Yep. Nick says, I'm about to climb on my roof to power wash the siding. What's the dumbest, possibly dangerous home project you've ever done? It would have to be something on the roof because there's always danger there falling off the roof.
Home project.
I am so averse to danger. Like I don't put myself in dangerous situations as much as I can help it. I mentioned earlier, my wife does most of that stuff. So like, yeah, she's probably the one that would answer this question more. I feel like here's how bad it is. I will pick up a handsaw and I will get scared. Like I'll be like, if this slips, I'm going to cut. Like
you're dead.
I could never use a bandsaw or a power saw or a chainsaw. Like no way. I'm not even starting it while I'm holding it. So,
yeah, I also am a little averse just to labor in general. It's just
well, there's that part of it too.
But recently I have been trying to figure out how to run a hard wire internet connection up to this very room. And I will tell you that the connection that comes into our house for internet is way that way. So I'm trying to figure out how to run it over here. And one of the options is to go from above, right? Like and down. So I actually got up into our attic last month and crawled around and cleared a pathway. It was not dumb. It was very purposeful, but it was definitely potentially dangerous for many reasons, especially because in the back of my mind, I know I have laughed at my mother for falling through the ceiling many times. She fell through the ceiling.
You've laughed at her many times, not her falling through the ceiling many times.
Exactly right. That's what I was just going to do. I can clear that up.
She's not known for falling through the ceiling every once in a while.
Not multiple times. No,
right,
she one epic moment. And I have laughed at that epic moment many times in my life. And so as I'm, traversing I just thinking like, if I fall, I'm going to deserve whatever comes my way. That's right. But I don't really do a lot of house projects.
You question from my mom. Who is the most famous person you've ever met?
Mine is when I was 8, I met Muhammad Ali, and I still remember that.
Pretty famous.
I think that's the most well-known historical figure. However, because Aaron and I were in the radio industry, we were able to meet a lot of really famous musicians, and probably the most famous musician that I had a decent friendship with for a little while, is Lauren Daigle. whom I don't think I could still reach out to and she'd make time for me by any means because she a busy woman. But we had a really fun back and forth kind of time together for a couple years there. So
yeah. I think there's a difference between
like we're not friends.
Right. There's a difference. Well, there's kind of like three levels, right? You can answer this question in three ways. One, who's the most famous person you've ever shook hands with and just, like said a word to, right?
Probably Muhammad Ali.
Who's the most famous person that if you saw them, they'd know who you were. Like
Lauren
right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then the third one was like, who's the most famous person you've ever been friends with? Like, you consider yourself actual friends.
I mean, I had her phone number and she had mine and no, that doesn't count.
But it's close, right? Like, so for me, I go to the awards every year. And so I've shaken hands and met lots of people, the most famous of which is like Tom Hanks, probably. Tom Hanks, so Leonardo DiCaprio. Sandra Bullock.
You were in the same room with Oprah.
That's true.
She had guards around her, but you technically were within spitting distance of her.
I mean, I've been in the same room with,
incredibly famous people.
And I've met a few of those incredibly famous people. Some of my favorite meetings were like the directors. The directors are always more willing to just chat and talk. Damien Chazelle was really cool. J.J. Abrams was really sweet and nice. Had a good conversation with him. Had a decent conversation with Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth. Those were the same year. So I've met a lot of people. Now, who would like know my name if I walked into a room? Probably artists. I'm not sure if Toby Mac would still know who I am. I know at one point he did. Like that kind of thing.
Scott
where it's
Sava.
like, sure, there you go. Jeremy Scott knows
Jeremy
who I
Scott. I maybe could say he's my friend.
Right. So that is that third category where it's like, he is probably the most famous person who's an actual friend of mine. So yeah.
I could say the same thing.
Yeah. So there you
and
go.
Before that, it was Aaron Dicer. Now it's.
Lolly says, I would not be able to speak if I met Chris Hemsworth. I wasn't far from that. That is an attractively made man. So yeah, I totally understand that for sure. Yeah.
Dexter, anyhow. You don't have to explain this, but I just love this. Dexter says, I got stuck hanging upside down in an attic crawl space a couple of years ago. That's really dangerous. I'm glad you're okay. I have so many questions. Oh no.
Yeah, totally. All right. I think that may wrap it up.
Those are great questions, guys.
Great questions today. Great questions.
Hey,
we love the U section.
Sorry again for missing you guys last week. We were obviously traveling. We were trying to figure out if we could go live from Nashville, but we couldn't figure out how to make it work where the connection was strong and we would have the same kind of vibe. So thanks for being understanding as we took a week off. But we're excited to be back into our regular routine, and you can connect with us in all of the ways that you normally do. You can find us on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, wherever you guys watch. Just make sure you hit a bell or a subscribe icon so you know when we go live. We go live every Monday at 9 a.m. Central, and some days if we were able to, although rarely
these days. Hoping that increases in the future.
Yes.
That is the goal.
So. That is the goal. And I'm going to fix this finally. Nope, that's the wrong way.
The other
Sorry,
way,
guys.
And one little bit more. And almost so close. And no, wrong way. Wrong way. Oh, now she's just trolling me. There we go. Much better. Thank you, guys. We will see you on the next Monday or someday.